This series was funded by great viewers just like you over on Patreon. Check out the description or end of the video to hear how you can take part in making the show even more amazing.
This video is also made possible by Verve. Head on over to verve.co/gaijin or click the link in the description below to get a 30-day free trial of 12 amazing channels.
Caltrops, this is your strategy? You're pretending to be some kind of ninja?
I literally just ran across like 4 rooftops, shut down your quirk, and strung you up like a piñata. Congratulations on putting 2 and 2 together. I'm sure Daddy must be proud.
Hey everyone, Gaijin Goomba here, and welcome to another episode of Witch Ninja, a series that looks at media's most popular shinobi to see which are good and which are bad. But I gotta admit, I did not see this topic coming.
Well, why not? This is the world of My Hero Academia we're talking about after all, where everyone, well, almost everyone, is super in some facet. From hard boys to frog waifus to giantess fetishes to perverted grapes and diapers, would it really be so weird to see some ninja? Besides, Todoroki literally begged the question after Aizawa Shota, aka Eraserhead, the hero that can erase quirks with a single look, tossed out those Makibishi on the ground.
Well, true, but a handful of Makibishi do not a true ninja make. Granted, I will give Aizawa credit, he did use Makibishi correctly. Unlike the more modern take we have on these little iron and organic caltrops, ninja did not use them as a quick trip up for pursuers. They instead scattered them on the ground, which blocked off paths for movement for potential pursuers, giving them the edge during escape. In this case, if Todoroki could get down, he'd just be falling onto a literal bed of spikes. But what else has Aizawa done in order to warrant the title of true ninja?
Well, during this entire action sequence, what was Aizawa actually doing?
Seems like he's spending the majority of the time running on roofs and
Right? Tanuki Gakure no Jutsu. You guys know that old trope of ninja running on rooftops, buildings, trees, and well, just generally 40 feet above the ground at all times? Well, there's a truth to that trope that we've actually covered a few times before in the show. The Tanuki Gakure no Jutsu, like most jutsus, revolved around a single human concept. People tend not to look any higher up in the sky than a 45-degree angle. Thus, by staying up higher than that, a ninja statistically had visual advantage by being up so high all the time. Similarly, does Aizawa stay high up on the rooftops and power lines in order to keep out of the general viewing distance of Todoroki and Yaoyorozu.
Huh. You know, come to think of it, in that fight with Aizawa, or any fight with Aizawa for that matter, his use of the capture scarf as a weapon and tool is highly reminiscent of a few other weapons a ninja would use. Things like the Kusarigama or the Kyoketsu Shoge, or basically the sickle and chain and the
Kunai with chain! What is this?
Well, both of these were predominantly entangling weapons, with a sharpened blade at the end to act as a sort of finishing blow rather than a prolonged combat use weapon. In both cases, the ninja would tangle up their enemy and either trip them or bind them so that they could easily finish them off in one blow. In essence, Aizawa does the same thing with his weaponized capture scarf, tangling up his foes before delivering a really hard attack. It's just instead of a chain, it's a quote, steel wire alloy woven with carbon nanofibers, whatever that actually means. But regardless, the methods in combat which he uses this scarf is pretty reminiscent of ninja-style combat.
Oh, it goes even deeper than that. There are actually jutsus specifically for tying people up.
Wait, what?
Yep, Hojo Jutsu, the traditional martial art of restraining a person using bindings or torinawa. In just a few quick movements, a master of Hojo Jutsu could successfully bind a target's hands behind their back and strap down their bodies in countless different ways. But no matter which of the multitude of techniques is used, the target is always bound with their hands perpendicular to their back, exactly how Aizawa has Todoroki bound in that scene. He wasn't wrapped up by the length of his body, but rather strung up by binding his hands behind his back. But even when disregarding that, Aizawa-sensei has always had a specific pattern of combat. Erase the quirk, tie down the target, and either leave it at that or beat the ever-loving crap out of him.
Boy, that's another thing too, isn't it? Aizawa has fantastic skills in hand-to-hand combat. When the OA students were ambushed by Amaba villains during their trip to the unforeseen simulation joint, Aizawa was able to hold his own against dozens of attackers, quickly dispatching them one by one with just a few hits. It reminds me a whole heck of a lot of Bujinkan Ninjutsu, a modern take on classical ninjutsu training started by Hatsumi Masaki in 1970, spanning 9 different schools. Bujinkan Ninjutsu is a martial art that specializes in opponent disablement. In Masaki's book, The Way of the Ninja's Secret Techniques, he describes in great detail and imagery dozens of different taijutsu techniques that quickly renders their opponent helpless and completely open to attack. From fisticuffs to swords, Bujinkan has an answer to seemingly every kind of attack. And you know, perhaps this very concept of disablement, a core principle in Bujinkan Ninjutsu, is made manifest in Aizawa's eraser quirk. Cause in a way too, Aizawa's weakness is also parallel to Shinobi weaknesses. Prolonged use of his quirk creates larger and larger gaps between uses. Aizawa has to move and attack quickly and take his opponents down lest he gets overextended, much like how a ninja that prolongs their attack using all their tricks and tools is quickly overtaken, a weakness that Shigaraki is quick to point out.
Well, I think this concept of disabling and quickly attacking also goes hand in hand with yet another form of ninjutsu, the Chikari no Jutsu, or coming near technique. This is the simple concept of confusing enemies and taking away their resources and advantage so that the ninja could take the upper hand. But despite the technique's simple nature, its executions were complex and varied. In one method, a ninja could execute the Chikari no Jutsu by simply ratting out the enemy troops' march. Considering how densely forested and incredibly mountainous pre-industrial Japan was, there were only a few choices and roads for armies to march down. This made them easy pickings for ninjas hiding high on cliff faces or tree lines, setting off signal fires to warning local castles and towns. Or, a ninja could spread inflated information and rumors to nearby villages and farms, who in many cases were relied upon by soldiers for food and shelter. There was just a ton of different ways that a ninja could cut off much needed resources from their enemy in order to subjugate them. Granted, when compared on the surface to Aizawa's quirk, this idea of Chikari no Jutsu seems like a much larger and more unrelated ability when it comes to traditional ninja jutsus. But the concept is the same, denying your opponent their resources in order to easily take them down.
And here I thought the whole enemy manipulation with ninja eyes was just a throwback to Naruto Genjutsu. You know, the more I think about it, even in the teeny tiny details, Aizawa's ninjutsu nature shines through. Like, I never really noticed this, but in the few times we see him lying on the floor trying to nap in his sleeping bag, when he lays horizontal, he's laying on his left side, which, believe it or not, is a self-preservation tactic right out of ninjutsu. As a ninja slept, they would always sleep on their left side as it protected their heart. If anyone was to shoot or stab at the body while they slept, their heart would be tucked behind and under every part of the torso, making a quick kill really difficult. Next up, in a few brief moments in the manga, we see that Aizawa is also a fan of cats. So remember back when Neo first came out, Hattori Hanzo pulls a goddamn cat out of his uwagi to tell the time? Well, again, there's some historic truth to that. Now, generally speaking, it's said that a ninja would use the natural dilations of outdoor cats to get a rough estimate on what time of day it was to keep schedule. I'm not sure if this is actually true though, as all it would take to tell the time was to just look up at the sky and see where the sun is, but I'm just calling it as the history books see it. Finally, in a seemingly brilliant stroke of subtlety, Shota Eraserhead Aizawa makes it a constant point to be obscure to the general public, but be well aware of who and what his enemies are. Aizawa has remarkable evaluation and observation abilities, able to quickly discover not only the physical, but the mental states of his opponents and act based on those assessments. He shows off that skill not only when fighting villains, but when he's also chasing down Todoroki and Yaoyorozu. On the flip side though, he does everything in his power to stay away from the spotlight. When we first get introduced to the guy, All Might exposits from around the corner that unlike himself, Aizawa hates media appearances as it interferes with his work. Even in the prequel manga Vigilantes, Aizawa openly admits while talking to himself that he's, quote, not the type to show his face in public. And to his credit, his low profile is maintained. As he's introduced to the UA 1A class, no one, not even Deku, was sure of who he was until he made his quirk known, allowing Aizawa to get the constant jump on his opponents, which is exactly what a ninja would want. I mean, he didn't even want to choose his own hero name. It was President Mike that actually gave him the name Eraserhead.
Seems like Aizawa really is on the up and up when it comes to being a ninja, huh?
Surprisingly, yeah. In fact, I would say good old Eraserhead might actually be a better ninja than any other character in the series, like Stain or even the number 5 hero, Shinya Edgeshot Kamihara.
Oof, look at that hair.
But if you want to see for yourself just how masterful a ninja Aizawa really is, you can catch him and the rest of the amazing cast of My Hero Academia on VRV. If you've never heard of it, VRV is a streaming site that not only has the entire anime lineup of Funimation and Crunchyroll, but a dozen other channels like Rooster Teeth, Shudder, Geek and Sundry, and Mondo with their newly released show Gary and His Demons. A story about a cynical, over-the-hill demon hunter who just wants to retire but is pulled back into the fight when it's revealed that his boss still hasn't found a new chosen one. If this neat little package of 12 channels worth of content sounds like a good time, you can actually head over to vrv.co/gaijin to get a limited 30-day free trial of their premium service. Not only does this mean ad-free viewing, not only does it mean that you have the ability to watch offline, but it also helps in everything that I do here with my content, including Witch Ninja, so be sure to check it out. Otherwise, I'll be back in a week or so after my trip to MomoCon in Atlanta. I've got a bunch of friends going, and I am super stoked to meet all of the fans who've been asking me about it over Twitter. And if you can't make it, come swing by my Twitch and hang out. We're live every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7 PM US Central, so you don't have to feel left out. Otherwise, if you love learning about culture and history from your favorite games and anime, consider subscribing and hit that bell to never miss out on my newest videos. And until next time everyone, this is Gaijin Goomba, signing out.